Bog Panda.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bog Panda. I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on everything, and joining me, as always.
Hi, everybody. This is Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. And if you have a moment, we would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the Bog Panda YouTube channel. Drop us a few likes if you could. Leave us a comment or two as well. Subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. And while you're kind of moseying around, check out our merchandise or stop by our website, which also includes a link to our merchandise. So we kind of like you to look at the merchandise.
Kelly, have we mentioned the merchandise?
I'm not sure, but we have merchandise, very affordably priced merchandise.
Yeah, if you were watching this, you were like, where can I get some merchandise? We got it.
We got you covered. There's links in the video description, now on the website. We mention it. You'd think business would be better, but nah. They're clever. They're one of a kind. So maybe there's a reason for that. Oh, so this show, we're going to talk a little bit about pinball and virtual pinball. And largely here for this show, I think we're going to kind of just dwell on the AtGames infrastructure, as well documented by Bog Panda. Mike's journey to get an AtGames Legends Ultimate Mini was finally successful, more memorialized in my background here. So he's been, and that's primary purpose is a pinball machine, correct?
Yes.
I've got the Coastal Legends Ultimate, and we'll talk a little bit about the pinball experience on that in a second, and Legends Core. And I've just recently, at Mike's recommendation, loaded down one of the pinball packs, and so, but I'm actually playing that on my core. So you've had some time with your mini. We've talked about it a little bit. We had a video very recently here. You were starting to show some of the things on the Zachariah packages and kind of what's going on with those. Any other kind of takeaways on pinball on the mini?
So far, I'm a big fan. It seems like a really good way to go. I've always enjoyed pinball video games. Both, recreations of existing pinball tables, with, of course, Pinball Arcade being sort of at the top of the pile of that kind of stuff. And then there's great just video game only pinball games, going back to TurboGrafx 16 with Devil's Crush and Alien Crush and things like that, which were great games. And then if you're familiar, there was a House of the Dead pinball called Pinball of the Dead, I believe. That was really good. So I would love to see something like that on there. So it's really cool. And this is a great form factor for it because it is small. It's more affordable than buying the full size AtGames Legends pinball. And you do have the pinball buttons on the side. So you are getting that sort of authentic feel to it when you're playing it. And the vertical, the only thing I was concerned about is how it would look with the vertical monitor. Would it feel more like a video game pinball experience? It feels pretty natural though on the vertical monitor. I haven't had any real kind of issues with it. I haven't. Now I know you can play those same tables turning the monitor horizontally. So I don't know what that looks like or what that feels like. Probably too small of a footprint for me for something like that. But playing it vertically for me has been a great thing. And it's definitely fulfilling that need for the pinball table right now that I just don't have the space for.
Yeah, so I have somewhat of a preview of what. So if I play pinball on my AtGames Legends Ultimate, it is like if you turned your screen horizontal, so that you're going to get there, and it is a small form factor because it's they're keeping the vertical line up of the table, but now you're in that horizontal environment. So huge bezels on either side. And it's a smaller play field. And when you get to some things like the Space Invaders game, and I'm never good with the pronunciation here. Is it Taito?
I believe it's Taito.
So the Space Invaders game on the Taito game pack, Volume 1, there's a lot of stuff going on in that game. And that footprint makes it a little bit difficult to kind of have the full uh, progress on there. So I've done some, mostly it was mostly cloud pinball, but I did a little bit on my Legends. But as Mike was getting more into the pinball world in AtGames, I said, okay, I need to jump on the bandwagon here. So I got the Taito Volume 1, and I'm running that through my core and then through the projector, so that I have a very large screen to work with. And the downside right now is that I don't have that form factor of the button, the buttons on the side type of thing. I think folks that have a Gamer Pro, they have that, because the deck can sit kind of on their lap and they can have the buttons on there. But with the core, just itself, not so much. But the AtGames controller, which continues to sync like a champ when I kind of fire it up and get ready to go, the left and right trigger serve as the flippers. And once you kind of acclimate to say, this is how I play, it's pretty good. And it feels more pinball than video game still. But I needed to do something to enlarge the image to be able to make it playable. Plus, that's the way in my VR pinball, it's the same thing, is that there I'm holding a couple of the VR controllers with triggers on them, but I still don't have that deck to hold on to, and kind of feel like you got a hold of the machine. But
Very interesting. And the VR pinball is something that's very interesting to me. I'm definitely curious to see more about that.
yeah, and I don't know if it'll be for this video or a future one, but I got to troubleshoot how to capture that experience on the VR and get it into a way for us to incorporate into a couple of our shows. But we'll keep working on that. The AtGames experience is pretty straightforward to stream to YouTube, and we can do that. But I just have to troubleshoot how to kind of get that done with the Oculus. So.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see it. But yeah, I've already shared some footage of what the AtGames Legends Mini pinball looks like. It's a really satisfying experience. You do get the different lighting options on each of the tables. You have the 3 different lighting options. I prefer to go with the darker look to it. It actually feels more realistic to me like that, because I'm used to playing pinball in sort of darkened rooms. So that kind of all fits for me. So I like the darker look of it. Plus, I think it makes the lights pop out a little bit more when the rest of the table is a little bit darker. It just gives it more depth when you're playing it. So personally, that's what I prefer. And with the Zachariah tables, as I'd mentioned, you do get the 3 different table types. I'm not a huge fan of the retro style table types. Other than the one that I shared for Earth, Wind, and Fire, I really like all 3 versions of that table. But overall, I'm not a fan of the retro style tables.
Yeah, and particularly when they stack up against your other options you have on that set. The other ones are so beautiful and look like such good gameplay. It's you still carry forward all that great kind of resolution or whatever, but you're like, well, we're going to really bare bones this game down. But I guess if that's the kind of pinball you like to play,
right?
Maybe
yeah.
that's...
And for anybody who didn't catch that other video, what is wrong with you? But for anybody who didn't catch that other video, go watch it. The retro style tables, they're taking the famous Zachariah tables and then stripping it down to make them look more like early 1960s pinball. So it's very minimalist. You get a few bumpers, like maybe one target on a side there, and the flippers are pretty far apart compared to the more modern style tables. So it's a lot harder. If you check out the leaderboards, they are much, much lower scoring experiences, even for the top players on those.
Yeah, I tell you, and I think AtGames has got a pretty good racket going here, because they're offering kind of multiple form factors for you to experience this. Whether it's the mini, I really don't recommend the Legends for it. The core with the right kind of projection on it, and then of course, obviously, Legends Pinball as kind of the zenith of all kind of
right, the top
pinball
tier
experience
out
there. So they've got, you can hit it on multiple platforms, and then they're just loading their store up to get all these different kind of collections and packages and stuff like that. Comes probably a decent income stream for you, because once you figure out kind of, okay, I got a good way to play it and I enjoy it, now you're going to want to start adding tables a little bit. And it's not a bad little plan they got going there.
No, absolutely. I mean, I very quickly picked up the Taito pack. I'm already looking at other packs. So
Yeah, I had held off, and it's just kind of price wise. I said, okay, Taito packs, $25. Boom, that's not a problem. Get that, try it out, because I needed to kind of validate that I was going to be in a kind of a decent experience to play. Because really, up until now, most of my stuff has just been the cloud pinball stuff, which is a little dicey because you are going to get latency issues, and they're homebrew games for the most part, and it's okay and it's interesting, but it's nothing when you open up the Taito pack and start playing some of these games. You get a much better experience. So we'll have to see how it goes on there.
yeah, and the Taito packs are made by the same company that makes the Zachariah packs. So all really high quality. The Zachariah tables in particular, the Taito tables were created as virtual pinball games. But the Zachariah ones are, actual existing pinball tables, and they're just beautiful recreations of them. They really look good. The video honestly doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, which is saying a lot because it actually really popped on the video. That was shot on landscape, which is good. Good for you. So, but yeah, I'm going to have to. So the Zachariah packets run basically twice what the Taito ones do, but you get twice the games basically because you get a variety of games plus 3 different versions of each of the games.
Yeah, I think on the first pack it's like 20 tables total, counting most of them have multiple iterations on there, but it's like 20 total tables, but they do run $50.
Yeah, but you get a lot more for them. So yeah, I'm probably who am I kidding myself? I'll be getting that. I'll be getting so we can offline. You can steer me towards the right volume to kind of go with to start off with, and we'll do that. And then we're going to continue to explore some online gaming options with these tables and see where that takes us. You'll hear more on that down the road if we make progress on that down the road, and we'll do that. But we just want to talk a little bit about virtual pinball. Would be interested in hearing from you folks. Are you playing it? If you are playing it, what's your preferred medium or approach to do it? Are you cool with just I got a awesome PC setup and I'm good to go on that, and I'm fine with Pinball Arcade? Or have you kind of dipped your toe into some of these things, or you're leveraging AtGames, or are there other platforms we ought to be thinking about? So would love to hear kind of what your experience is, what your favorites are. And it's a nice addition to just the retro gaming stuff to be able to kind of jump in and play a little pinball now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely interested in hearing from anybody who has one of the Gottlieb packs. I've seen some mixed reviews about them. So before I jump in, I would like to know a little bit more about people's experience with that.
Definitely. Yeah. So let us know. We'd really appreciate hearing, because that'll influence future purchasing decisions. What you want to do though, save your money up after you buy this highly affordable merchandise from the Bog Panda. So then go get your pinball tables. But it's not going to be a big dent. Really, it's a good look. Take a look.
Yeah, imagine how ridiculous you're going to look playing virtual pinball not wearing one of our t-shirts.
It'll be your family will be disappointed in you. Do you want that? I don't think you do. I think on that note, I think we shilled enough. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.